Greetings, this is a very strange Aeon. Welcome to my video. Thief. Thieves. You know them, you probably hate them. While most classes in Guild Wars use cooldowns to determine their abilities, thieves utilize an initiative system, a bit more like a traditional energy system from other games. This gets consumed very quickly, but there can often be some ways of getting it back. This generally leans thieves towards having a rather burst-orientated playstyle. The fact that they also don't need to cycle through moves can also mean they can get very repetitive, just spamming out a very particular move. Depends highly on their build. Word of warning, if you don't like spamming one key all the time, don't do dual pistols. Thieves are squishy. Defense relies on stealth and evasion, generally not being hit. This also doesn't really help them against large AoE. They generally want to get into a fight, get it over quickly while their burst is at its highest, and then get out to recover. While often the key presses they use may not be the most complicated, understanding their surroundings and being in the right place at the right time is incredibly important for thieves and probably has the most complexity for this class of any others. Thieves in general group poorly. They are the utter bane of roamers in World v World, but the large amount of their capacities and unique abilities scale off in larger fights. Thief has access to a steal mechanic, which will teleport it towards a target, and gain an ability depending on the target hit, though it can also just be slightly random. Daredevil. Daredevil, I would argue, is the most classic and stereotypical thief. It gains access to an extra dodge, which can help its survivability and mobility, and those said dodges are significantly improved compared to normal classes. Generally, like most thieves, it wants to get in there, hit hard, and then get out as fast as possible. A very high amount of skill expression in this class. It can be very deadly in the right hands, or very dead in others. The Daredevil has access to Staff, a two-handed melee power weapon with some utility added. Strangely, it doesn't really see much use with Daredevil, and the most times I've seen it on thieves tend to be Deadeyes of all things. Deadeye. Whereas Daredevil is the fastest of the thieves, Deadeye is the sneakiest. The Deadeye is probably the only thief that can generally stay stealthed on a near-permanent basis. Deadeye swap out their conventional steal for a Deadeye's mark. This mark will give them a different ability to the normal thieves, all of which will stealth you. The mark also builds up stores of malice, a skill bar you can see above their dodge meter. This malice can be used to empower a sneak attack or utilized in some of its abilities, notably an ability that regains its initiative. This means that Deadeyes tend to highly fixate on killing one target at a time, tend not to do too well if that target dies at an unexpected time, which generally doesn't disrupt their rotation. Deadeyes are most often associated with being ranged characters, especially when they're utilizing their unique weapon rifle, though you do sometimes see some melee Deadeyes, especially in raiding environments. If you generally like the assassin and stealth-oriented elements of Thief, Deadeye can be a good pickup. Deadeye grants access to Rifle, a long-ranged power weapon which has the unusual mechanic being able to crouch and gaining different abilities while it does so at the cost of its movement speed. It can also keep a very high amount of stealth up. Spectre. Remember how I said that most thieves generally are at their best solo or in small groups? Spectre is sort of the exception to this. Spectre is probably the most support-oriented thief. It loses access to some of its initiative pool, which is a pretty devastating hit, especially for most thieves. But it counters this by being able to go into a shroud, more similar to a necromancer's. This can make it significantly tougher than most other thieves. It probably means it has actually the most endurance of thieves, counterintuitively, given the lower initiative. Spectre gain multiple abilities, support its allies, and give it increased bonus when it's supporting. That said, at least at time of writing, it is not a good pure healer. As a general rule, Spectres are generally at their best playing a sort of hybrid support aggression character, supporting and enhancing characters, but doing so in order to get the most killing done. Due to its shroud and its slightly odd mechanics, a Spectre can often feel more like playing a combination of Necromancer and Mesmer than it does a traditional Thief. This may contribute to why it seems to be the rarest Thief to be seen. I suspect many thieves don't really like the playstyle, as it feels very different to how most thieves play. That said, if you want to play someone who is both sneaky and supportive, I would recommend giving it a go. Spectre grants access to Scepter, a ranged weapon which can be used to heal and support others by attacking them. So yeah, it's a healing gun, basically. Any Ana players from Overwatch should be familiar with this. Well, that's about it for thieves. Go out there and make my life a living hell.